Good morning, guys. How y'all doing? Hope you guys doing awesome today. So today's article, we're reading about the 5 fears we all share. Hope you guys enjoy the article today. Let's get into it. Happy Tuesday to all there listening and watching today. All right, that is not the one I'm looking for. One moment. There it is. Okay, the 5 fears. Let's check them out. When we know where they really come from, we can start to control them. The 5 fears that we all share. President Franklin Roosevelt famously asserted, the only thing you have to fear is fear itself. I think he was right. Fear of fear probably causes more problems in our lives than fear itself. That claim needs to be a bit of explaining. I know. So today's article is by Carl Alterbich. He's a PhD. Thanks, Albert. Sorry. Thank you, Carl. Fear's gotten a bad rap, and it's not nearly as complicated as we try to make it. A simple and useful definition is fear is an anxious feeling caused by our anticipation of some imagined event or experience. Medical expert tells us that the anxious feeling we get when we're afraid is standardized biological reaction. It's pretty much the same set of body signals whether we're afraid of getting bitten by a dog, getting turned down for a date, or getting our taxes audited. Fear, like all other emotion, is basically information. It offers us knowledge and understanding if we choose to accept it. And there are only 5 basic fears, out of which almost all of our other so-called fears are manufactured. These are 1. Extinction. The fear of annihilation, of ceasing to exist. This is a more fundamental way to express it than just fear of death. There's a link there if you want to go check out the email. Guys, if you're not part of the email list, please join at thepositivelifebook.com. Love to have you there. The idea of no longer being aroused by a primary accidental anxious in all normal humans. Consider the panicky feeling you get when you look over the edge of a high building. How does that feel? Number 2, mutilation. The fear of losing any part of our precious body structure, the thought of having our body's boundaries invaded, or losing the integrity of an organ, body part, or natural function. Anxieties about animals such as bugs, spiders, snakes, and other creepy things arise from fear of mutilation. Cool. Didn't know that before. Number 3, loss of autonomy. The fear of being immobilized, paralyzed, restricted, enveloped, overwhelmed, entrapped, imprisoned, smothered, or otherwise controlled by circumstances beyond our control. In physical form, it is commonly known as claustrophobia, but it also extends to our social interactions and relationships. Interesting. Number 4, separation. The fear of abandonment, rejection, and loss of connectedness, of becoming a non-person, not wanted, respected, or valued by anyone else. The silent treatment, when imposed by a group, can have devastating effect on its target. Yeah, it does suck. Being singled out, not having no one's talking to you, for sure. Number 5, ergo death. The fear of humiliation, shame, or other mechanisms of profound self-disapproval that threatens the loss of integrity of the self. The fear of shattering or disintegration of one's constructed sense of lovability, capability, and worthiness. These can be thought of as simple hierarchy of hierarchy. There's a diagram there. If you go to the email, you can check that out. And then, what else is here? Let's see. Okay, so think about the various common labels we put on our fears. We start with the easy ones: fear of heights or falling, basically the fear of extinction, possibly accompanied by significant mutilation, but that's sort of secondary. Fear of failure, read it as fear of ergo death. Fear of rejection, this fear is separate and probably also fear ergo death, the terror many people have at the idea of having to speak publicly. This is basically fear of death, ergo death. Fear of intimacy or fear of commitment is basically the fear of losing one's autonomy. I might just put this article. There's a couple paragraphs over here, guys. We'll take a few more minutes here. Some of the other emotions we know by various popular names are just aliases for these primary fears. If you track them down to their most basic level, the basic fears show that jealousy, for example, is an expression of the fear of separation or devaluation. She values him more than she values me. At its extreme, it's expressed the fear of ergo death. I'll be worthless. I'll be a worthless person evokes the same way. Oh, interesting. Shame and guilt express the fear of the actual condition of separation and even ergo death. The same is true for embarrassment and humiliation. Fear is often the base emotion of which anger floats, as we covered yesterday about anger. Oppressed people Oppressed people rage against their oppressors because they fear or actually experience loss of autonomy, even ergo death. The deconstruction of a culture or a religion by an invading occupier may be experienced as a kind of collective ergo death. Those who make us fearful will also make us angry. Interesting. Religious bigotry and intolerance may express the fear of ergo death on a cosmic level and can extend to existential anxiety. If my God isn't the right God or the best God, then I'll be stuck without a God. Without a God on my side, I'll be at the mercy of the impersonal forces of the environment. My ticket could be cancelled at any moment without reason. Those are just some quotes that people say. Some of our fears, of course, have basic survival value. Others, however, are learned reflexes that can weaken or be relearned. The strange idea of fearing our fears becomes less strange when we realize that many of our avoidance reactions, turning down an invitation to a party if we tend to be uncomfortable in groups, putting off our doctor's appointment, or not asking for a raise, are all instant reflexes that are reactions to the memories of fear. They happen so quickly we don't actually experience the full effect of fear. We experience a micro fear, a reaction that a kind of short-handed code that the real fear for the real fear. Sorry. This reflex reaction has the same effect on causing us to evade and avoid as the real fear. This is why it's fairly accurate to say that many of our so-called fear reactions are actually the fear of fears. Your last paragraph here, guys. Finish up. When we let go of our notion of fear as the welling up of evil forces within us, the Freudian motif, and beginning to see fear as a companion emotion as information, we can think about them consciously. And the more clearly and calmly we can articulate the origins of the fear, the less our fears will frighten us and control us. Cool. Thank you, Dr. Carl. Sent this also found this on Psychology Today. If you guys want to check the emails out and get some of the links that go a little bit deeper, please do so. Just check your email today. Thanks, guys. That is all for today. Go back here. Where am I? I'm lost on my windows. Alright, guys. Have a great day. Be positive and enjoy your Tuesday. Thanks. See ya.